Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Compassion Planet Virtual Gala Tailgate. It's been a crazy week, and I know that everyone here is ready to have some fun. So let's get to it. So first thing here, my name is Matt. I am with the Sacramento Kings. We're streaming tonight from the Golden One Center, and we are so glad that you could join us. I've got my team here in the room with me too. So we're going to be shouting you out tonight, thanking you for giving. But before we get to that, let me tell you a little bit about Compassion Planet. Compassion Planet is a nonprofit based here in Rockland, California, and the mission of Compassion Planet is to empower at-risk and aged-out foster youth to overcome personal obstacles, achieve independence, and reach their fullest potential. Now, due to the current pandemic, Compassion Planet has experienced a loss of more than $378,000 in income due to the cancellation of the annual fundraiser events and the temporary closure of their two social enterprises. Your generosity tonight in support of this tailgate and our gala means so much, and we thank you so much for being here. We're going to talk more about Compassion Planet and our gala a little bit later, so make sure you stick around for the hour here tonight. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And before too much longer, let's get to it. So first off, if you are at a watch party, I want you to go into that chat, comment who you're with, where you're watching from, what you're doing to celebrate tonight. We'd love to hear from you. And our staff would really love to see everyone that has joined us for the live stream tonight. So to get started, how about we make a cocktail? For those of you that purchase your kits to the virtual tailgate here, you should have a kit with your 2 custom glasses and your cocktail making kit. So make sure you pull those out now. You're also gonna need some ice, some whiskey, and anything else you wanna garnish it with. There's a little recipe card in there too, but I'm gonna walk you through everything you need to do to make that cocktail. I'm sure some of you have already started the party, and that's great. And you may learn some other little things that you can do here. So let's start with the cocktail demonstration here. So again, pull out that recipe card if you'd like to follow along, but inside that cocktail kit, you should have some sugar cubes and 3 different kinds of bitters. So first thing I want you to do is take that Compassion Planet cocktail glass. You guys get to keep those. That's a great memento for tonight. And I want you to take the regular aromatic bitters, should be the bigger bottle there, and throw 3 to 4 dashes right into the glass there. This is a signature part of the old fashioned. We're going to take it one step further. Now, sometimes folks use fresh fruit, and if you'd like to add some in there, you definitely can. But there's also either orange or grapefruit bitters in there as well. Now, you get to choose your flavor here. So if you want orange, you'll add 3 to 4 more dashes of the orange. Or if you want grapefruit, you're going to add 3 to 4 more dashes of that. I like to do a little bit of both, so I did 2 of each. Create a cool little fusion there. And with that, you're also going to put that sugar cube in the glass with those. And then just a little bit of water. What that water is going to do is start breaking down that sugar in there and start making a reaction there with the bitters. Now, once you have all of that in the glass, you have that spoon with the little muddler on the end. I want you to start muddling everything away in that glass. And that is really going to start mixing everything together. You want to make sure you muddle that for about 20 seconds till everything is spread throughout. It's disintegrated a little bit. It almost kind of seems like a little sugar paste. I wouldn't try it quite yet. We want whiskey. That's what we're here for. All right. So now that you've muddled all of that together, I want you to take your ice. You can either do cubed ice, you can do crushed ice, or if you like your single rock, you can do that too. If you'd like it to be a little bit more spirit forward, that's a great way to go with this. And you'll pop that in there. And then I want you to take your whiskey. Now I'm gonna grab my jigger here because I want to make sure I show you guys a difference. This is your jigger. You could have either a 2-ounce or a 1-ounce jigger, and that relates to the large portion of the jigger. So make sure you know that the bottom half is either gonna be 1/2 ounce or 1 ounce, depending on how big your top is. But you wanna add 2 ounces of bourbon, of whiskey. Tonight, I went with my Bullet 95 rye. Great choice for an old fashioned. Also, I'm from Wisconsin, so we make our old fashions a little bit different. We sometimes use brandy, and I'll give you a little trick for those here in a little bit. But you want to add your 2 ounces of whiskey now, and you're just going to stir it a little bit. You want to stir it again for about 20 seconds, make sure everything has a chance to mingle, and then you want to let it sit and let those flavors really marry with each other and get going. Now, I made mine up here, and I had a little bit of fun with my garnish. So I went with some maraschino cherries and an orange peel. A fun little trick with that orange peel, you'll see a lot of bartenders do this where they actually take it around the rim and rub it right on your rim and then place it in as my orange peel falls to the ground. What that does is that makes it so that when you pull that glass to your nose, you smell the orange along with all the mix-ins in the cocktail right away, and it creates just that much more of a flavor profile for you. That's a fun little trick. Anytime you have a lemon, a lime, or an orange garnish, take a little bit of that peel that right off, run it around your rim, and it's just going to make it taste, that first taste, be so great. All right, so once you let it sit for that little bit, now's your time to enjoy. So before we get on with our show here, cheers to everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is going to be a fantastic evening, and we're going to do a lot of good raising some money here for Compassion Planet. All right. Now, one thing here, if you like your drink to be a little lighter, I'm going to tell you how you make it the Wisconsin way. So we use whiskey or brandy. It's all the same steps. I always like to throw a little orange wedge in there during my muddling and that, but this is where it's different. We like to make it a little bit more light, a little bit more refreshing. So if you're using whiskey, I say if you want to make it more refreshing, make it a sour. So add some 50-50 soda, which is like a lemon lime soda. Or if you're drinking brandy, we call it a brandy sweet, throw some Sprite in there and fill the glass. It's about 4 ounces of what you'll need. And that's going to make a much more refreshing old fashioned. So if you don't like how potent most old fashions are, give that a trick or give that a try next time. I think you're going to like it. And if you ever go to Wisconsin, I guarantee you, you're going to pay less than $5 for that drink. So drinking on a budget, go to Wisconsin. It's a great time. All right. So again, cheers, everybody. Thank you for being here. And now it is time for our entertainment tonight. So I'm very excited to introduce both our entertainer and our special guest that will be part of his show. I'm going to bring in here Max Davidson. Max is an award-winning magician from Denver. He's performed at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Disney World in Orlando, and even Puerto Rico. Now, since March, he's been performing virtual magic shows for audience all across America, and we are honored to have him here tonight. I've gotten to see his show in another place, and he is fantastic. You're going to love this. Max is joining us from Washington, D.C. To share his favorite magic with you. And joining him tonight are his very willing participants, Jenny, Emily, and Eric. Take it away, Max.
Matt, thank you so much. Jenny, Emily, Eric, and everybody else who's with you. It's such a pleasure. I will say, if you need real fashion drink, the better the magic is going to get. Now, as Matt said, I'm calling in from Washington, D.C., about 5 blocks from the White House right now. So if you hear any honking or yelling, that's just going to be part of the show. I'm going to do the show on the 5th of Election Day. But it's such a pleasure to be here. Ever since I've done virtual magic, I've had to ask myself 2 main questions because virtual magic has completely changed the way that we interact, right? We've lost this whole element of physicality. So the questions are, how do we communicate with each other? That's number 1, because we have to really change that completely in this virtual space. But also, we ask ourselves, how do we know what's real, right? And the reason we ask that is because you have to make a lot of assumptions when we're over some kind of web conferencing platform. You have to assume, for example, that I'm not a recording, right? That I'm here live in person. There's also things you have to assume that are more nuanced, like you have to assume that this deck of cards is real, for example, or even this envelope, right? And there's no way for you to really know this because you're not here. So that the solution to this problem is all of you. So the fact that the 3, really many more of you are here right now is going to guarantee this reality, not just for you, but for everybody watching at home. So I'm going to step off screen for about 2 seconds. You'll see why. I'll come back, and then we're going to try something fun. All right? All right, let's do it.
All right. You're listening to him. He's going to be right back, and whatever he says to do, hello. Say hello.
No.
Oh, you can sit down. Yeah.
I'm good.
So she's going to grab a book.
Both?
Right.
Oh, I think that's the right page. Okay. Okay.
Buttery.
Buttery.
Okay. I'm a little nervous. What?
Battery.
I didn't hear her word.
Yeah, I want food.
Uh-huh.
Jenny, it could have been any word from any page of any book, but you're thinking of the word buttery. Could everyone?
Wow.
Virtual round of applause.
What?
No, that's outstanding. Jenny, may I ask, where are you calling in from right now?
We're in Granite Bay, California.
From California. So from all the way across the country, you were able to do this. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Jenny. Now, of course, I don't want to ignore that 2 other people here who are about to get you involved as well. Now, of course, that is non-verbal communication, right? Most of the time, we're still talking back and forth to one another. Jenny's still processing the old trick, which I get is fun. Most of the time, we're still talking to one another, right? But of course, Zoom and all these web conferencing platforms have changed the way we communicate because now we're just focusing in really closely on people's faces. So I tried to take advantage of this during the pandemic. Lots of people learned how to bake bread or maybe just tried to watch as much Netflix as possible. I'm going to show you a brand new skill. So Emily now with a deck of cards. Is Emily here with a deck of cards?
Get your deck of cards, Em.
Excellent. Emily, if you could please get your deck of cards. And yes, and Emily, could you step up close to the camera? Because it looks like you're in a big, beautiful room, but I want everybody to be able to see you. Very good. And Emily, would you mind taking the cards and mixing them up a little bit?
Hand shuffle and you'll be okay.
Emily, you're doing great. And may I ask, where are you calling in from?
Roseville, California.
In California as well. This is going to be perfect, Emily, because we're all the way across the country too. And Emily, could you do us a big favor and show everybody the cards so we can all see that they're mixed? Like put them up really close to the camera so we can all see that they're mixed up.
Turn them around towards the camera.
Yeah, we want to see all the faces of the cards. Yes, that's absolutely perfect. And Emily, could you hold them face down in your hand for me?
That's what the card faces down.
Yep, that's outstanding. And then Emily, I want you to take the cards face down and put them face down behind your back. I mean, it's like your own special kind of sleight of hand, but I know, yes, that's perfect. And then Emily, could you take some of the cards off the top of the deck and put them face down in front of you? Yes, great. And then Emily, could you take the rest of the cards and put them on top of the other ones, but at a weird angle?
Pull them up so they can see them.
Yeah, Emily, you know what? You can actually keep them off screen because in a second, I don't even want to see the cards. Yes. And Emily, so I want you to take the cards that you just put on top at a weird angle. Okay. The whatever ones you just put on top at a weird angle. So for example, for me, like let's say the cards would look like this, right? Like on top at kind of a weird angle. You can just take those off, Emily, and then look at the card that's on the bottom of that and remember what it is. All right.
Show anybody, don't show the camera.
Yeah, don't show the camera. You can show people who are in the room with you if you want, but don't show the camera.
Back to us. What's the one on the bottom? Back to us.
She showed us. We see what it
All
is.
right. You all saw it? All right. Well, Emily, I'll tell you what. Could you take the cards, keep them off camera? You've done absolutely fantastic so far. You can take all the cards and put them away if you want. And Emily, I'm going to ask you to get close to the camera for a second. I told you that what I learned in quarantine is called microfacial expression reading. And the way it works is I've tried to figure out how different people smile, right? Smiling is one of the best things that we can do during quarantine. Of course, we have to analyze each other's faces. So I want Emily, in a second, you're going to smile in a way that you think represents the card that you chose. Now, there's different ways to do this, right? Let's say you thought of the King of Hearts, right? Maybe you do like a really big smile because the King of Hearts is a big, high card, right? Or maybe it's the Two of Hearts and you do like a more subtle, like a smaller smile. However you want, there's a million ways to smile. I know you're going to do a great job. Look at the camera, Emily. Can you do any kind of smile for us that you think represents your card? Oh, that's perfect. You got the arms involved as well, so you're really including it. Emily, you're doing fantastic already. So, Emily, you can stop. You don't have to pose the entire time because that looks pretty tiring. You're doing well. So, Emily, I'm going to have to ask you a couple questions about the card, and we're going to see if we can get close to this, all right? So we'll see how this goes. So Emily, people do different reactions depending on the color of the card, depending on the value of the card. Usually, if it's a red card, people will be a little bit smaller with their body, and when it's a black card, people get a little bit bigger. And you got a little bit bigger with your body because you used your arms, and it was great. So I'm going to guess that it was a black card, and your arms were a bit curved like this. So I'm going to guess that it was a club. Emily, are we on the right track? Yes, we're on the right track. Oh, that's fantastic. Emily, could you do, because I loved it so much, could you do the smile one more time?
Look at the camera.
Yeah, so everyone can see. Oh, that's perfect. All right, Emily, you're great. So now, Emily, we have to figure out if it's a number card or a picture card. And I'm going to guess, usually when it's a picture card, people go like really big. And you went like kind of in the middle. So I'm going to guess it's not a picture card, but it's also not a lower card. So, and don't give this away, Emily, but somewhere in the range of 8, 9, 10 of clubs. Are we in the right range?
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
A little bit?
You guys are like doing so many questions back in my head.
Yeah, we could be me and Emily. All right, Emily, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go for it. If it's off, we'll try something else, but I'm going to go for it right now. Is it the 9 of clubs, Emily?
Wait, what am I supposed to say?
Tell them it's not the 9 of clubs.
It's not 9.
Not the 9 of clubs. Were we close to the 9 of clubs or just completely far off, Emily?
A little bit downer.
Little bit down. I'll tell you what. This is why I brought cards in case of emergency. So here's where this gets really strange. I want you to actually tell us the card that you chose so everybody knows what it is.
Do I sew it?
Yeah. Ooh, is that the 5 of clubs?
Yes.
The 5 of clubs. Here's what's crazy, Emily, because sometimes people are really good at smiling and communicating, and that's great. Sometimes we get people like you who actually are even more impressive, and you don't even realize how impressive the thing that you just did is. Because I've had this deck of cards off camera the entire time, just in case this scenario arises where somebody like you comes along and gets it so right. Because Emily, in this deck of cards, I have one card that's face down. It's the only one that's face down. And I know you're not going to believe it, but it is your card, your 5 of clubs, all the way from California. Could everybody give Emily a huge virtual round of applause?
Wow. Awesome job, Emily.
That's outstanding, all the way from California. You did wonderful. Now, of course, we cannot forget the fact that Eric, you and your whole family here. Thank you so much for joining us. Eric, I know the Wi-Fi wasn't working earlier, but this is fantastic because you're here right now. So I understand you brought a pen and a piece of paper, right?
There's your drink.
All right. So far, Eric, we've tried nonverbal communication. We've tried facial communication and even a little bit of mind reading over there from Emily. Now we're going to try drawing. So I have to ask you, how good of an artist are you, Eric?
I stink, but the 6-year-old is really good.
Really? All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Eric, in terms of stinking at art, that makes 2 of us. If you want to give it to the 6-year-old to try this, you're more than welcome to, as long as one of you has the piece of paper and the pen. And I don't want to just call you the 6-year-old. What's your name?
What's your name? Faye.
Faye?
Faye.
Faye. Faye, it's so great to meet you. I'm assuming you're calling in from California as well?
Okay.
Wonderful. Faye, I'm going to ask you to make a very simple drawing. Could you do that for us?
Good.
All right. Go ahead and do it. Now, Faye, the only requirement is that when people see it, because you're going to show it to them in a moment, they'll know what it is, okay? Now, Faye is making the drawing for everybody else, for Jenny and Brandon and the Rhodes family, and everybody who's watching at home. We talked about how do we figure out reality when we're on Zoom, when we're on different web conferencing platforms. And the answer is it's difficult. So here's what I'm going to do. In a second, I'm going to turn around and face this wall. And you have to kind of just assume here that I'm not looking at a monitor that I embedded in here. I can promise you I'm in college. This is a cheap college wall. There's nothing in here. I'm going to turn around and look at it when Faye shows everybody the drawing. So that way you all know it. Everybody who's watching at home knows it. Matt knows it. Everyone off screen. The only person who doesn't know is me. All right? So Jenny, excuse me, not Jenny. Faye, did you finish your drawing? Yes? Okay. So Faye, when I turn around, I'm going to ask you to come up really close to the camera and show everyone the drawing so they can all see what it is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So go ahead. I'm going to turn around, show everybody the drawing. It's possible there could be some glare, something, so make sure there's no glare, but make sure it's up close and everybody can see it.
We can't see what it is. It's like washed out.
Do you think you could change the angle of it a little bit there?
No.
Wait.
Maybe start.
I don't want to sit around because I don't want to catch a glimpse of it.
It's not coming through. Hold
It's
on.
not
I'm gonna darken it. Don't look, Max.
I'm not going to the integrity of this as perfect as we possibly can. I'm glad I can still hear you though, because one time I did this and the Wi-Fi went down and I was just standing here for a very long time.
Keep looking the other way, Max.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep looking the other way. You keep me honest, and when Faye darkens it, that way you can all see it, and we're gonna make this work. Even though we are thousands of miles away from each other, we're gonna make this work.
Good.
Okay, everybody saw it.
We're ready.
Okay.
Everybody saw it, so I can turn back around.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. I think we're all pretty accustomed to that nowadays, but guess what? We're going to power through. All right, so I'm going to ask you, Faye, a couple of questions about what you drew, all right? And you just have to answer them to the best of your ability. If I don't guess what it is, we're going to try something else. So, Faye, let's start with this. Is this something that's in your house? It's not in your house, okay? Is this something that you have encountered, maybe seen, touched, I don't know what it is, in the past week? No. Okay, you know what? I'm telling you what, Faye. I'm not going to try and tell you what the object is, and here's why. Right? We started off here doing nonverbal communication, then we did facial communication, and this is not verbal communication. This is you drawing, right? So instead of me trying to tell you what it is, maybe I can show you. Because as you might have noticed, I actually shoved myself to this side of the screen. The reason that I did that is so that you could see this envelope the entire time. And I promise you, again, we talk about reality and trust. I'm not going to take this off screen. I'm just going to show you that inside the envelope is a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper is something quite simple. But does this make sense to you, Faye?
Wow. Oh my God.
Could everyone give her a huge virtual round?
Good job, Faye.
Thank you so much. Faye, you're fantastic. Now, before we go, we talked a lot about reality. Right, and how a fundamental assumption that you have to make, understandably, and that we talked about, is that I'm a live person talking to you through your screen. But the crazy truth is, I'm not here right now because I'm not real. I am just a recording. I am just a recording. I am just a recording. I'm 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 not real. 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 Inside the envelope, you are literally manifesting it into existence. It's called microfacial expression reading. I will get better at X. Shuffle the cards, really mix them up. The pandemic has changed the way that we communicate. Good evening, everyone. It's so great to see you. Pick up the cards and then look at the one that you cut to. You have to assume that I'm real. We're going to make a face that best represents the card that you chose. It's fine, I'll change. But I'm not real. But I'm not real. But I'm not real. But I'm not real. I am just a recording. Just a recording. You can decide what was real and what was fake. That is the show. Thank you so, so much.
Wow. That's awesome.
I can't. That was amazing, Max. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being here today. That was fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much, Max. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Emily. Everyone, you were fantastic. All right. Now, we know that a magician will never reveal their secrets, but tonight you will get to experience just how the amazing people at Compassion Planet make a difference. There is so much that goes into this organization between the staff, the trainees, the graduates, the stores, the garden, and so much more. There is so much good happening. Now, before we take a brief break tonight, I want to remind you that your generosity is what helps keep Compassion Planet achieve their mission each and every single day. Now, this year, we are making it easier than ever for you to donate from the comfort of your homes and watch parties and make a profound impact for at-risk and aged-out foster youth right here in our community. To give tonight, we're going to bring a QR code here up on the screen. All you have to do is pull out your phone and open up your camera. You're going to point your camera right at the screen here, and a little link should pop down from the top. You're going to click that link, and that's going to take you right to our donation page where you can give tonight. You can also click the link that's in our chat function here on the side of your screen, or you can text the word compassion to 474747. You may need to enter the number first and then type the word compassion. Here it is on the bottom of the screen for you. And this will also give you the chance to donate tonight. Now, so far tonight, we are already on a roll because some of you saw the link in the chat. We want to thank the McKims, Daryl Mark, and Lori George. Thank you so much for your gifts already tonight. We have a few more as well that have come in. We're going to recognize you a little bit later. We're going to spread these out here. But so far tonight, we have already raised $2,800. How awesome is that? That money is going to do so much good. But guess what? We are not done yet tonight, folks. We are going to take just a quick 2-minute break to reset here, and we are going to be back at 6:30 to kick off the main portion of tonight's program. But for all you that are here now, thank you so much for joining us for our pre-show tailgate. Thank you for buying those cocktail kits and sharing in that amazing magic show. It's going to be a quick show tonight, so please stick around. I'll be back with you in just 2 minutes, and we'll get the show on the road. Thanks for joining us.